when you're not swimming, you're gonna be working in your equipment pad a little bit. You need to know how your pump works. You need to know how your cartridge filter works, your salt system. It's extremely important to understand that stuff. Make sure you understand the flow of the system. Like I said, when you're not swimming here and you're doing anything with the pool, it's usually right there in that equipment pad. Extremely important to understand how all that works. Let's do that right now. Let's start with the suction. This is the first part of the equipment pad. John's got 2 skimmers on his pool. Those are coming up right here, and it runs straight into a 3-way valve. Now this is perfect because now he has control over which suction line is currently moving through the system. He can have both on, that's typically what he's gonna have. But let's say he needs to vacuum the pool. He's gonna plug up a vac plate and hook a hose up to it. He's gonna use that pole to vacuum the bottom of the pool. He wants all the power he can get from that one skimmer. He can turn this valve, which shuts the other skimmer off. All his control can happen right here. Really awesome setup. Really good to have a valve on your suction and return lines. Now that's running straight into a zinc anode. We'll touch a little bit more on that when I get to the salt system, but that's running right into the zinc anode. Next, we're going into the pump. This is an Aqua Genie 2.2 horsepower variable speed pump. Really strong pump, a lot of features, really cool, efficient, really quiet. It's running right now. I don't know if that you can even hear it. It's on. Fantastic pump. We have a video on that. Check that video out. Kind of goes through all the ins and outs of the Aqua Genie pump, how to set it up, how to run it, all those things. Out of this cartridge filter, this is an Aqua Genie 425 square foot cartridge filter. There's 4 cartridges on the inside. Really simple setup, just an in and out. We also have a video on the Aqua Genie cartridge filter. Check that one out. Out of the cartridge filter, we're going into a couple of 3-way valves. This is a bypass. What he's able to do is just slip that heater in when he's ready for it. He's already got the equipment pad ready for it. Doesn't have to do any extra plumbing. He's already got his bypass. Really awesome. After that bypass, gets into the salt system setup. Let's take a look at that. All right, as we get around to the salt system, really cool salt system, really easy, simple to use. First thing you run into in the equipment here in the plumbing is the flow switch. Got arrows here on the side and on top letting you know the flow of water has to be going this direction. What that does is when the water hits this flow switch, it hits a toggle, lets the system know it can be on and running. When the pump's off, no water is moving through the system, automatically turns off. This prevents the system from burning up, being on when it shouldn't be. You don't want it to be attempting to generate chlorine when there's no water moving through the cell. You don't want that. So this flow switch will protect that from happening. Next is the salt cell. It's a cool, clear salt cell, really sweet. You can see water moving through the system. You can see the chlorine generating. You can also see these titanium plates in the cell. Kind of get to inspect it without having to take the cell off. You can inspect those cells knowing they need to be cleaned. And it's just nice to be able to see water flow through the system, make sure everything's looking good. The pump's moving pretty good right now, so actually you can't tell, but water is moving through the cell at the moment. It's just all filled up, no air bubbles, everything's looking great. On the salt system controller, it's really simple to use. We have a video that goes through everything on the Aqua Genie salt system. I won't dive too much into it, but I'll go ahead and kick it on. It'll take a second. It's gonna read the salt levels of the pool. It'll tell us how it looks right here. Right now we have the chlorine generating at about 20%. Here in a second, you'll start to see the salt cell begin to generate chlorine. Looks like he's maybe a little bit high on salt. That's all right, we'll be able to work that out. You can start to see now, the cell is now generating chlorine. Really cool setup. All right, I mentioned earlier a zinc anode. I wanted to come back to that after I talked about the salt system. So with this being a saltwater pool, that salt can be pretty corrosive. You don't want your screws that tighten the faceplate to the skimmer to rust out. The ladder that drops down in the deep end, you don't want that stuff rusting out. So like a lot of marine grade equipment, John's got a zinc anode to protect from that salt water. It's the very first thing in the line. So when that salt water goes through the system, it's hitting that zinc anode. It's gonna fight and kill and rust that thing out before any of the other equipment on his pool. That's a consumable item, so that twist nut on top comes off. You'll replace that zinc anode after a couple years. Rather replace a little part like that than, you know, your whole ladder. You have to change your faceplates every year. You don't want to have to do that. Zinc anode's the way to go. Now at the very end, he's got his returns that go back to the pool. John's got 3 returns, one in each Aqua Genie skimmer, one in the tanning ledge, just a normal jet on the tanning ledge of the pool. He's got each of those valved off. So very end here, it tees to his 3 returns. Really cool, he's got control over each of those, very similar to the suction line. He's able to control which skimmer is on or off, or both of them on. Same thing here, really good to have complete control on the front end suction and the back end return. Having control over all that is exactly what you want to do on your equipment pad.